this is really uncharted territory for our country. So I think to encourage folks, even those that are questioning whether or not they qualify for unemployment, to please just apply for food assistance, all these things. Again, a lot of these requirements have been waived. A lot of expansions have happened with these programs, and it's important to at least try. Some of the things that we're getting a lot of calls in my office about is the direct payments. And these are the $1,200 that a lot of folks are talking about. So know that the first round of checks will be in the first week of April 13th. Again, that's only just the first round. You talk about millions of people. I already saw a figure of showing about 6 million folks, though, that have already applied for unemployment benefits across the country. If you make less than $75,000, you qualify for the $1,200 with an additional $500 payment per minor child. But if you do get SSA and you're a senior, you will automatically get the payment, so you do not have to fill out the form. However, if you are someone that's low income or don't qualify to fill out a federal income tax form, which is a lot of residents in my district, we do now, IRS is requiring, we're still fighting them on it, requiring in their guidelines that they fill out a payment or some sort of form, which I believe is going to be a zeroing out like federal tax form to be able to get it. Because there are so many of our residents that are unbanked and don't have direct deposit, that means longer wait period. I signed a letter with Congressman Kildee saying that should be the opposite. Those that are probably unbanked are the most vulnerable, lower income, should get their checks first. And so we've been pushing back on that, because now IRS is saying it could take up to 10 weeks or more for those that don't have direct deposit options.
If you are being told to stay home for 14 days, the good thing is if it's related to the virus, there's up to 14 days paid sick time. One of the things that Rashida and I didn't like, and we're trying to get fixed, is there was a cap on the number of employees in a business that would apply to. And so I don't know why the folks wanted to put 500 employees when, if you're working at Walmart or if you're working at Amazon or any other big employer, you have the same problem if you're not getting a paycheck because of having to stay home for 14 days. So that's an area that is a weakness in the law, but we never had any paid sick time before.
You may not have qualified for food assistance before. We're asking you to reevaluate and look, but you may qualify for food assistance now. And so we want folks to know that if your income has been decreased significantly because of this national pandemic, if you've lost hours, if you lost your job, things have changed significantly for you in your life, know that you may now qualify for SNAP assistance, or what we call food assistance. So we really want to encourage people to apply.
But we also added this very expansive new benefit structure for unemployment benefits. Now, it's not up and running yet. I just checked in today again with the Michigan Unemployment Office. They're a few days away of being able to implement the changes that will expand who can receive help. They're also scrambling right now. We gave them resources to hire more people. They've got, they're hiring more people to answer the phones and to process the benefits. They said 90% of their staff right now is focused on processing benefits. But in a few days, and I would say just kind of, we need to pause for a moment and let them be able to get this together. But in a few days, we're going to see an expansion that covers more part-time workers, people who are self-employed, somebody who's maybe furloughed but not actually laid off. Maybe you're furloughed to keep your health care and couldn't get help. And so there's a whole group of people. And so we need to be really looking at that specifically.
What type of economic relief is there for undocumented people?
So it is a very challenging time. I can tell you, for children who are U.S. citizens of undocumented parents, there is still relief for food assistance and so we're asking folks to still pursue help in that area. But if regarding direct stimulus, that's where they were excluded completely out. Even if you are a worker that is filing taxes, I know our neighbors, immigrant neighbors that file with what we call a tax ID number, billions of dollars every single year. They do not qualify for the direct stimulus, unfortunately. However, United We Dream, a number of community advocates, even yesterday at the Democratic caucus call, Speaker Pelosi and others have been in contact with advocates. There was a push by many of us to say, look, if folks are doing the right thing and filing for taxes and have an ITIN, a tax ID number, they should be able to qualify for relief, especially because this is a public health crisis. No matter what somebody's status is, we all deserve to be safe and healthy. And so just know that you have to continue to advocate. But that direct stimulus is not available. But the similar things that were available for children, like I know WIC, SNAP assistance, things like that. Please reach out to, a lot of my residents. I tell them, hey, the schools are still offering food assistance, meals. Reach out to the same nonprofits like Urban Neighborhood Initiative in your community that will be able to access at least your children to get services and help. Oh, and by the way, if you're undocumented, please know everyone gets access to testing. Everyone.
Yeah. There is, I think, something that we've not done before, which is we do loans, that's for sure, but we've structured it so that if you're a small business and you need a loan, there's also some grants available. But if you need a loan and you can keep your employees on the payroll for the next 8 weeks, the cost of doing that and the cost of the overhead for your small business will be written off the loan. In other words, it's a grant. So the whole focus we've had for medium and larger businesses too, is you get help if people continue to get a paycheck. And I think that's an incredibly important piece of how we're trying to do this.
We are concerned about our most vulnerable population, but this will go until the end of the year. And so while it is going to take a little time for everybody to be reached, it doesn't expire until December 31st.
You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.